So this game is going a lot more like what Adam Snook wanted it to be like in the last game, and Adrian is facing a lot of pressure here. Let's take a look and see what he can do about this board.
That Cultivator's Caravan is working overtime because it does add white mana or whatever third color of mana Adrian wants to enable that Radiant Flames. It's going to get hit by Smuggler's Copter most likely if that happens, but Radiant Flame still does kill 3 creatures on this board.
So Adrian's sequencing out how he wants the rest of this turn to develop. It looks like the first thing he's going to do is that Radiant Flames for 3. Making sure that he takes down the Catacomb Sifter along with it.
And that'll give Adam a couple scries off Catacomb Sifter. Adam also has a way to stop.
Yeah. Defense.
Well, luckily Adrian planned for that.
That Galvanic Bombardment puts a bit of a wrinkle in that plan. So all the creatures do end up dying here, with the exception of the Smuggler's Copter, of course. And now things are kind of turning around in a pinch for Adam. He was in a commanding board position, and now he's not presenting a lot of threats. So Adrian is at 12, so he is getting to the point of the game where he can start putting some pressure along. The Scrounger coming back from the graveyard, exiling the Catacomb Sifter, and crewing that Smuggler's Copter.
Yeah, that was just a really good sequence for Adam. This Scrap Heap Scrounger looking like a pretty good sideboard card in this particular game. I mean, getting to loot it away with Smuggler's Copter is always just going to be a huge advantage. But even past that, if you play a Scrap Heap Scrounger and Adrian Galvanic Bombardments or Radiant Flames it, you didn't really lose much. So that does seem like an effective plan for this matchup.
So Adam's still deciding what he wants to discard from that Copter. It looks like it's another Blossoming Defense. I think he might have a third one in hand, so he's kind of defense flooded. Gnarlwood Dryad is the follow-up for Adam.
And note, artifact, creature, land, and instant are in the graveyard, so Adam is on Delirium, so it is a 3/3 Gnarlwood Dryad.
Does Adrian have a way to deal with multiple threats this turn? It looks like he doesn't.
Adrian does have a Quarantine Field, but he doesn't actually have a second white. He's got Mountain, Island, and then 2 blue-red lands.
That's so clunky.
Cultivator's Caravan. Well, it actually looks like it might be an Immolating Glare in his hand anyway. Adrian does have Torrential Gearhulk as well, but it's kind of awkward. The only creature that Adrian can block profitably is the Scrap Heap Scrounger, but that's also the only creature who can Galvanic Bombardment. So maybe he wants to trade the Gearhulk for the Gnarlwood Dryad. It's not the worst trade. Adrian is on the defensive, and just trading for an opposing creature does end up feeling fine.
So let's see what Adrian decides to do here. It looks like the Gearhulk is coming down. Flashing back. Bombardment, and it is going to take the Scrap Heap Scrounger down. I think we're going to see what you were mentioning before. Yep. The Gearhulk getting in front of the Dryad.
Yeah, that was a fine trade for Adrian, but that Scrap Heap Scrounger will come back. So, you know, Adam's going to be able to continue applying pressure.
Jace, Unraveler of Secrets. Gonna tick up and scry. Does not like his card. Just gonna go ahead and draw. I think he might have drawn a white source there. It's just an island. Alright, so Scrounger coming back, exiling that second Gnarlwood Dryad. Are there more creatures for it to eat? There is one more left.
There is the Catacomb Sifter. Adam would lose, or Grimflayer rather, Adam would lose Delirium if he did that, but I don't know that that's a big deal. It doesn't actually have any Delirium cards in play right now.
Yeah, and we've really seen the power of Scrap Heap Scrounger as a sideboard card, especially against a deck that is trying to remove it with things like Galvanic Bombardment. It's been a very nice recursive threat.
Scrap Heap Scrounger is seeing a lot of play in this standard. You have these Mardu decks that are basically just red-white splashing Scrap Heap Scrounger at this point.
I mean, it's essentially a black card.
Yeah.
So it looks like that Catacomb Sifter bringing a little Eldrazi with it. That's going to crew the Copter. He gets to discard a land, and Blossoming Defense is actually going to stop that Immolating Glare from killing the Copter, so Adrian's going to be taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, knocking Adrian to 1 here means that Adam's got a lot of ways he can close out this game.
And here Adrian's going to have a very tough time coming back from this, especially with no Wrath is really going to be able to stop this, considering that there's a Smuggler's Copter in play.
And even if Adrian was able to kill everything, that Scrappy Scoundrel would come back, jump in the copter, and fly over for the last 3 points of damage. So Adrian needs a combination of a sweeper and a way to kill copter.
It looks like he has a Blessed Alliance in hand, which could buy him a little bit of time, potentially.
Blessed Alliance does a good job of helping you survive by gaining you some life, but if Adam ends up attacking with too many creatures, then the sacrifice a creature part is just not going to do it. Like, Adam would still have lethal through a double-kick Blessed Alliance.
There we see Blessed Alliance in multiple modes, and one of them being target players in 4 modes. So as you mentioned, it might not be enough here.
It absolutely will not be enough.
Sure.
I don't know why I chose that time to emphasize it, but it felt right. It's actually generally not a good idea to say absolutes because the board could change at any minute, like it is right now.
Like a Virtuous Gearhulk?
It's basically just no payoff for being absolute, but there are downsides, so it's exactly the kind of play I love running. Virtuous Gearhulk is not going to make things easy on Adrian.
Definitely not. Alright, so Adam's deciding how he wants to distribute these counters, and he's definitely diversifying. Virtuous Gearhulk gets to distribute 4 +1/+1 counters however he chooses. And it's a 4/4 itself, so he's gonna choose not to put any counters on that Gearhulk and distribute the threats elsewhere.
Yeah, in most cases, you want to just put counters on creatures that can attack this turn because it's like the counters have haste. But, you know, as we saw in Game 1, Adam had only a Gearhulk, so he didn't really have a choice. This game, he's got, you know, a wealth of options.
The Gearhulk is also a threat that needs to be answered on its own, so distributing the counters elsewhere just kind of gets you a little bit more for your Gearhulk.
Also, even if Adam loses one of his creatures to this Galvanic Bombardment, he's going to be able to crew Smuggler's Copter with it and still present 3 attackers.
Alright, so it looks like Galvanic Bombardment is going to be taking down this Scrappy Stranger. Saying, alright, put your counters on things. Gearhulk will be crewing the copter. We're going to see a loot.
So, left alliance will put Adrian to 5 and Adam has to sacrifice an attacker, but it still leaves 6 damage worth of creatures to attack through. And Adrian does not have enough mana to animate 1 or 2 roll and block and kick and escalate the Blessed Alliance. So it's going to be tough for him to survive this.
Yup, and that's gonna do it for this game. So Adam Snook takes this game, and this is gonna force a game 3 between Adam Snook and Adrian Sullivan.
And I do think that way that game went is kind of representative of post-board games where Adam basically just gets to draw 1 or 2 fewer dead cards and 1 or 2 more good threats once he gets to sideboard appropriately.
He also just got a much quicker start. In the first game, he was very slow, and, you know, Adrian being able to play that Jace meant he could never really stick a threat on the board.
Yeah, exactly. Jace on an empty board is really tough to see.
Alright, so let's take a peek and see what's going on with even Petrie and Oliver Tomacho. So it looks like the winner of that game was eventually Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver took game 1. And we saw Evan getting a Elder Deep Kingdom to play, but that just was not enough to deal with the fact that Oliver had 10 lands and a bunch of gas in hand.
Yeah.
So, but I still think that Team Emerge tends to have a pretty good long game against something like Jeskai. Just having the card Emrakul, the Promised End in your deck is just such a huge threat against a deck trying to go to the late game.
Let's grab a burger cap.
Alright, so Evan will be sacrificing that vessel, getting his first blue source of the game from it as well. Mechanical Sanctum.
Unfortunately for Evan, does come into play tapped here, so he's not going to access to blue right away.
Oh, and that Spellcore is going to eat the Tireless Tracker.
Oh,
no clue for Evan.
No,
that was kind of brutal.
Spellcore is just such a good card when you can just snag an opponent's card and then just untap all your mana out and start pressuring your opponent. Like, Oliver is just ahead by so much now.
Yeah, and being able to stick a Gideon on this board is amazing for Oliver. So he plays Gideon, gets a knight out of it too. And now Evan, with a relatively slow start considering what happened with Spellcaller, it looked like he was in great shape until that happened.
Yeah, I mean, Evan was getting towards Emrakul's stalking his graveyard. You already see 5 different types in his graveyard. So that is exactly what the Teamer deck wants to do. But Spellcaller negating, all of a sudden Evan's under a lot of pressure. And, you know, having played the Teamer deck a lot, getting this is one of those cards that just shortens the game so much more than you'd like.
Alright, so another land, another Sanctum for Evan. And this is what you were talking about. These creatures are bashing.
Yeah, getting hit for 7 the turn after it got played, thanks to the knight and Gideon itself. So Evan's on essentially a one-turn clock if he doesn't do anything.
Filigree Familiar doesn't look like it's going to be enough to stop this army of attackers from Oliver. Alright, and then we're going to see a handshake. Oliver Tomachka takes this match 2-0. Here around 3. Let's move back to our main match. It looks like our players are finishing up shuffling. Do you think now that they're going into game 3, anything would change in the post-board games?
Well, Adrian has a slightly better idea of the threats Adam is trying to present. And Adrian has so many different options in terms of removal that I think he could easily make more changes. My guess is that Adam has fewer different options because he just have cards that are good against control and cards that aren't, and he's just going to have the cards that are good against control. Because Adrian, you know, one of the things that would change is, let's say Adrian had a sideboard plan that involved a bunch of creatures like Avacyn and Spell Quellers or something like that. Adam might be like, all right, I guess I have to leave a 1 or 2 drafts in, but he hasn't seen any evidence to that effect, so he's just not going to change that much.
Alright, so Adam with a turn 2 Smuggler's Copter, and Adrian's going to follow up on turn 3. He's considering playing something, but instead it's just going to pass back to Adam. So if you're Adam, you're a little concerned about that line.
Yeah, especially since Cultivative Caravan is such an obvious play, but Adrian is just going to pass in. This is the kind of spot where you expect him to play something, right?
Well, it looks like the Catacomb Sifter has resolved. The Scion's going to crew that Copter. Copter gets to attack. Adam gets to loot.
This is one of those spots where even though it feels counterintuitive, you can actually decline to attack with Smuggler's Copter. It is the sort of thing where if Adrian leaves up mana and you don't attack, you might be able to get a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, do you sniff out something like a Blessed Alliance or Immolating Glare?
Yeah, these are exactly what kind of cards I'd be worried about. On the other hand, if you don't attack and then Adrian just has Harness Lightning in the turn,
you feel so bad.
Yeah, I mean, you would have gotten your Copter Harness Lightning, but you just got to let Adrian use his mana anyway. But in this particular case, you got hit by Blessed Alliance. If Adam passed it, that would not have happened.
He did play this.
He did.
Not nothing.
And that is a significant advantage over something like Harness Lightning. You know, from Adam's perspective, is that he got to loot. Plus, the way Adrian played his Caravan plus a land this turn, he would still be able to attack this turn if he needed to. So, of course, Adam would have more attackers, so that does change that as well. It's like a compelling deterrent, which is
that is an interesting inclusion. What zombies does Adrian have that could give that a benefit?
I don't believe he has any zombies. I think it is mostly just a 2-mana bounce target creature.
All right, there's secret pulling returns.
It hits non-intendants, I guess, is the biggest difference.
Yeah. Obviously, the bonus comes if a player also controls a zombie, but it seems like Adrian does not have any zombies in his deck. We're going to see a couple of Scroungers coming down for Adam. Starting to pressure Adrian's life total, though Adrian hasn't taken any damage this game yet, and here's going to take care of the first Catacomb Sifter.
That was just going to end up being a one-to-one because Adam can attack Nahiri. The good thing for Adrian is that he might give Adam incentive to attack Nahiri with both out of fear of Galvanic Bombardment, but I don't know if Adam took the bait.
It kind of seems like he just pointed one at the Nahiri, so we'll see in life totals in a second, but that would have been a way to play around the bombardment. Looks like Nahiri number 2 coming down, attempting to kill that Scrounger, but Blossoming Defense is going to protect it, and we've seen Blossoming Defense do solid work
It's looked quite good in this matchup. I mean, this is one of the matches where I expect it to be at its best, and it has performed.
It seems like Adam has chosen to attack with a ground both times to both Adrian and Gary. Because Adrian's still at 20, and he just did it again.
Yeah, that is the safest play, because if you get your Scrounger attacking here while you're bombardment, then you end up with a Planeswalker play that can exile one of your other creatures.
Took the call up for Adrian. There's another Caravan and another Vantage. And now Adam is back to a place where he can start attacking Adrian's life total. Looks like 2 mana. It's going to be an Immolating Glare targeting that Scrounger.
You gotta feel pretty good about that. Like, you're getting your Scrap Heap Scrounger hit by 1-for-1 removal spells that don't exile.
Yeah, he can't buy it back quite just yet, but it is going to be a recursive threat later on in this game.
And they do such a good job pressuring Planeswalkers.
Alright, so Jason Raveler's Secret's coming down for Adrian, but this Jace is not long for this world, as it is facing a lot of pressure from Snook's side of the board.
If Adrian has a removal spell, Jace can survive if he picks it up. But that does leave him in a position where he's trying to kill Scrap Heap Scroungers with removal. I guess he could kill Servant of the Conduit as well, but still, Adam is pretty happy with this position.
I see.
Alright, we're going to see a pass back to Adam. Looks like he might have wanted to do something.
So one reason that we didn't want to the Galvanic Bombardment, because that is the card he has in hand, is that prevents Adam from drawing a Blossom Defense. The problem is if you cast Galvanic Bombardment and it's countered by Blossom Defense on the opponent's turn, they get basically a bunch of extra damage that turn.
Ooh, and this Vital Force coming down for Adam, and Adrian lets it resolve.
Yeah, this is great. See, look, Planeswalkers against control decks is really busted sometimes.
Yeah, take a look at this. This forest animated and getting in there.
So Adam's attacking for 10. Might just be attacking Adrian directly, maybe attacking Jace, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was just attacking Adrian directly, and that would put Adrian down to 2 if Adrian takes all the damage.
So Adrian's still deciding what he wants to do. I'm not sure if he has a removal spell or not in him, but he's very much on the back foot here. So you're seeing this Vital Force. The +1 ability allows a land to become a 5/5 elemental until the next turn. So yes, we're going to see a handshake, and Adam Snook takes down this match 2-1 versus Adrian Sullivan.
Yeah, it looks like Adrian actually was at 7 to start that attack, not 12. So that does mean that Adam was just getting very aggressive with Scrap Heap Scrounger the entire time, which looked like it served him well. The 2 Scroungers he sided in did some excellent work in those post-board games.
It seemed like it might have been the reason why he actually put it on the game. It looked amazing. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at Cedric Phillips versus Michael Fiorelli.
Yeah, the deck names aren't updated yet. Cedric is on Red-Black Madness. He actually played this deck at the first tour last week, and
How'd it go?
did not go well.
Okay.
He didn't change any cards,
Okay.
and he showed up here.
Is he feeling good about it?
He actually thinks it's well positioned. It's not that he wasn't going to change any cards. He just looked at what he expected the field to be, and he expected a lot of blue-white decks,
Okay.
and he liked his matchup of them.
Alright, that's fair. So Inventor's Apprentice coming down for Cedric. He also had a Smuggler's Copter. He chose not to, this Copter has been previously in play, so he chose not to attack here.
Yeah, he was playing around his opponent, Michael, having Stasis Snare or Immolated Glare, Blessed Alliance, and you know, Cedric is a Pro Tour veteran. He has a Pro Tour top 8 with Tifkin, actually, a mono white beatdown deck.
Alright.
And at PT Kyoto. And he, has a number of Grand Prix top 8s. He's a very seasoned player, and I do think that he's going to be playing a little bit more cautiously than maybe we've seen just with Smuggler's Copter into a bunch of open mana.
Fair enough.
It's worked out so far because Michael Fiorelli does have Stasis Snare in hand, and Cedric has avoided getting that Copter caught up in the snare.
Yeah, there's a lot of hesitation of just burning your Stasis Snare to take down an Inventor's Apprentice, and it looks like Weaver Lightning and Apprentice getting in here for Cedric. Still continuing to hold back that Chopper.
And the fact that Cedric has Weaver of Lightning in post-board, because that is a sideboard card, means that Michael might be playing a slightly offbeat blue-white deck. And we even see a Heejin Crawler in the graveyard. So Michael's got some stuff going on here.
Panharmonicon?
Oh, speaking of which.
All right.
Oh wow, Michael's playing the infinite Panharmonicon combo deck.
All right. Do tell.
So if you have Panharmonicon in play, and you have Drowner of Hope and Eldrazi Displacer, every time Drowner of Hope comes into play, you get four tokens, and you can sack 3 of them to displace the Drowner and just get 4 more tokens. So Michael's got an infinite combo deck going here.
And Michael is 2-0. All right, I actually really, you know, when you have a deck like that, I'm always rooting to see the infinite combo. That's so cool.
Unfortunately, Michael seems like he's fairly far away from assembling that, but he is not taking tons of damage because Cedric is leaving that Copter back. Though, as soon as Michael taps out, then that Smuggler's Copter will be getting in there.
All right, so it looks like Reflector Mage going to be bound through one of the 2 creatures. It's the...
So thanks to
Panharmonicon. Thanks to Panharmonicon. There you go. So it's Panharmonicon starting to do some work. Unlicensed Disintegration, though, takes care of this.
And here's Cedric rewarded for keeping that Smuggler's Copter in play because now he gets that extra 3 damage off Disintegration because he has an artifact in play as opposed to if it had gotten Stasis made earlier.
Wow, Cedric misses a land drop. Well, he's missed many land drops now, but he still continues to have all gas in hand and he hasn't played anything. So he actually discarded an Inventor's Apprentice, but he has 3 open mana. So what do you make of that of your Michael?
Well, the fact that Cedric is discarding a key card of so much mana in play does kind of indicate that Cedric's got a lot of cards he could play. Cedric couldn't play it that in particular turn because of the Reflector Mage, but it is a card he'd be able to play for 1 mana this turn, so it is a little odd that he would discard.
Sure. Looks like Panharmonicon number 2 coming down for Michael.
One card I would really expect to see in Cedric's hand, especially since he's keeping mana open and not doing anything, is Unlicensed Disintegration.
So Insolent Neonate coming down for Cedric. And there we see the first Stasis Snare is going to take it down. Cedric doesn't even get to lose. Yeah,
that Smuggler's Copter eventually flew over and it ended the way Cedric thought it would. So Cedric was as patient as he could be, but eventually he did send it in and it did not work out well.
I like the play a lot though. He was definitely giving himself a good out to both get more value out of the Disintegration slash to have a hasty attacker when, you know, his board is looking like this.
Yeah, that worked out well enough for Cedric.
All right, so that Insolent Neonate sacrificing itself at the end of the turn. Bloodhall Priest coming down for Cedric, and this is a beefy attacker.
It's a 4/4, and then Cedric has no card in it. Cedric's very far from that ability, but still instant speed 4/4.
Oh, and a burn spell from Cedric, and he actually takes on the match. It was looking, wow. His board was, he was a little mana screwed. His board was looking not great, but that's enough to take the game down. Yeah, well, no infinite combos on this live look in here. Perhaps Cedric lost a game earlier to the infinite combo, but in this case, he got to play the fun police and just running the front out. So. Playing the fun police is definitely a fun thing to do, or not fun, depending on. Well, depending on which side you're on. All right. That'll do it here for round 3 from GP Providence.
Test drive the top standard decks from Pro Tour Kaladesh in the Pro Tour Gauntlet, happening now on Magic Online. For more information, visit mtgo.com.
MVP. Kaladesh is now available on Magic Duels. Build endless deck combinations with more than 1,000 unique cards. Play through hours of story with 50 campaign missions. Play Magic Duels free today on Xbox One, Steam, iPad, and iPhone.
Hello there, welcome back to the booth here at Grand Prix Providence. Marshall Selective with Jacob Van Loon. What was that quiz all about?
Yeah. Luis Scott Vargas.
Did you guess
It's a
Luis
number.
Scott Vargas?
I did.
You were
I mean,
wrong.
when it's there, it's the right answer.
Apparently it was
That's-
12
yeah.
and not Luis Scott Vargas. But so it goes. So we've got a match lined up for you here that was pre-recorded. It's a time walk match. And we're getting it set up for you right now. And it's between Matt Costa. That's the only part I actually know. Yeah, it looks like it's not in my chat quite yet, but we'll find out who he's playing against. Maybe we could grab those deck lists there. But you know what? We could also just head down. Let's head down to the feature match area here for Time Walk in round 2. Hello, and